Welcome back to the weekly Unwind. And this week, I'm putting on my hat as a safari architect. We usually talk about where we need to go, but today we're talking about how to book your trip. Most people plan a safari by looking online, looking at social media, and seeing what pictures pop out the best to them, and using those as their archetype to build their perfect trip. That's a bit of a mistake because a safari, a trip, or even just a beach holiday is a structural build. We need a foundation, we need a strategy, because if you want to experience true luxury without a tourist trap price tag, you've got to be a bit smarter about it. Today I'm handing over my personal cheat codes to help plan your trip and beat the crowds and the market. So let's get into it. Plus, we have a cookie today. Let's talk about rebranding the seasons. So if you've been on a safari, you know there's a low season, there's a high season, and there's a little bit of a yellow season in between. For this point, we're going to refer to the low season as a green season. But that's not good enough. We're gonna rebrand it as the emerald season, and I'll tell you why. In the industry, we call April through to June the green season, or worse, the rainy season. But it's time we call it what it actually is, a shiny emerald season. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people complain about the cold, the wet, the rain, it's miserable, but they're wrong. Think about it like this. The dust that usually cakes your lungs during safaris is gone. The air is so fresh and crisp. You can literally smell the leaves. It feels like HD for your eyes. The brush itself is so luscious and green. It's not just brown and dying. It's vibrant. It's electric green. So here's a real safari secret. From April to June, hotel bookings are on fire sale. We're talking 30 to 50%, 50% usually being the ultra exclusive high-end brands, off their normal high season prices. This is the only time in the year that you could possibly snag a 5-star stay at the price of a 4-star stay. If you're willing to pack a pair of sturdy boots, a raincoat, and a positive attitude, you could have one of your best trips out. Just saying. At the end of the day, trust me, the bush is even more alive when it's lush. The next point I have is somewhat of a double-ended sword, in the sense that we're going to talk about conservancies. The idea that a lot of people say they don't want to do a safari because they don't want to be trapped in a car for long hours looking at animals. For a lot of people, that's just not their vibe. My answer is conservancies. While national parks have strict rules, private conservancies are almost your one-stop shop for activities and unique experiences. You want to go on a night game drive to see a leopard hunt? A conservancy's got you covered. You can hop on a mountain bike and ride around the conservancy. You can go rhino trekking on foot at some conservancies. I mean, just amazing. But the second thing I want to speak about when it comes to conservancies is that if you're a resident, the price of a conservancy is often nearly identical to that of a national park. And if you're a non-resident, it's a bit more touch and go. But if you're planning to go to somewhere, for example, like the Mara Triangle, in high season, there are certain conservancies that are actually cheaper than going to the Mara Triangle. So I would say it's about finding the right place for you, but conservancies definitely give you a little bit more for your money when it comes to someone who's looking for an active safari. On top of that, you've got fewer vehicles in the conservancy, which gives you a much more intimate connection with the land. It's higher value for an experience that you'd probably end up spending the exact same amount if you went in high season. The next hack I've got, I like to call LIFO, L-I-F-O, last in, first out. Well, this psychological hack I've used since before I was doing this for a living. I used to love planning trips, and when I would plan trips, I would make sure that within my planned trip, I would have at least 2 days that were under budget in terms of my hotel booking, so that I could allocate that budget for my last 2 days where I would splurge and look for the best of the best experiences. When people work with a fixed budget, They often try and spread it out evenly. So they'll book a 7-day mid-range slog. By 4-day, the room feels small, the buffet feels repetitive, and you're getting tired when you're supposed to be on holiday. So how do you combat this? I think you've got to work with your budget, but spend the first 5 days if you're out for 7 days in an authentic mid-range camp that is comfortable, that is fun, and that is what you can afford. But finish the last 2 nights with a splurge, because it's about the peak end rule. Your brain doesn't remember the average of the trip. It usually focuses on the most recent and most intense experiences. By aiming for a luxury stay in your last 48 hours on safari or on your trip, you're giving yourself an opportunity to trump every other experience. And you could end up leaving a lasting positive taste in your mouth when you're heading home. You leave the bush remembering your high thread count sheets and that beautiful plunge pool that overlooked the savannah. And that's the memory that will stick for a lifetime. So, LIFO. For my last point, we're going to discuss booking away from the Instagram inspiration posts, and at the same time how that will help us deal with some of the ethics of over-tourism. We have a problem with over-tourism worldwide, and there's no need for us to deny that. It's real, it's reality. And the most famous spots in the world are always the biggest hubs for over-tourism. We've all seen the photos of the 60 cars showing up at the Mara River crossing, and last year it was pretty bad with a lot of rules being broken. It's loud, it's stressful for the animals, and honestly, it's not a luxury at that point. So what's the ultimate cheat code? You've got to foster conservation through exploration. As much as the Mara River crossing is a wonder of the world, we don't all need to clog the exact same 3 miles of the Mara. They're unique, breathtaking views and locations you can visit. Meru National Park and have a stay at Elsa's Kopje. Or the rugged landscapes of Samburu. Go and see if you can catch the special Samburu 5. When you choose secondary parks, you're not settling, you're actually upgrading. You're getting a true wilderness experience where you might be the only vehicle for miles. More importantly, your travel dollars are providing vital infrastructure that these parks need to grow, to become better, and to survive. By staying away from Insta spots, that's what we're gonna call them, you're literally helping save the habitat that's being encroached on. A lot of things coming out about the Mara and new camps opening on the banks of the Mara River. If you stay away from that spot, there would be no need for that additional hotel to open up, which is hurting conservancy. If you went and decided to take a trip to Samburu and a lot of people started flooding Samburu, there's enough space there for a new hotel to open up that could possibly be opened by someone in the local area. Exclusivity isn't just about a fancy room. It's about having the horizon to yourself and doing so in a sustainable manner. So there it is, rebrand the season, pivot to conservancies, use LIFO, and end on a high. To top it all off, why not choose the road less traveled? A lot of these destinations that you will end up being picked for, when you work with an agent especially, will just be as high quality as the ones in the most frequented destinations. This is how you get the best deal for your safari in 2026. This has been the weekly Unwind, and we'll see you in the bush.